Well, we talk about the stages of development so you can influence social change. So first step is that awareness of the moment and the capacity to listen, and then that creating love for others and just a joy of the moment. Then that doesn't solve life because you still have to have meaning. This is what Viktor Frankl was talking about, and others were talking about, and about this concept of a search for meaning, a way of life, this Ikigai. And so then there are the principles that guide you and the values that guide you. This is what the Stoics were talking about, the Senecas of the world and the Aureliuses and so forth. And so you really need a merger of those two. You need a strong set of values, and there's modern discussions of them, like Rawls's theory of justice. But basically, you have to decide how people ought to be treated. And some of these things are not rocket science. Like a pretty good principle to live life by is this concept of reciprocity, in that you treat others as you would desire yourself to be treated. So be honest with people. Treat people like human beings. Invest in people. Delight in people's growth. Find mutual wins. Never look for win-lose situations or sub-zero situations. Look for mutual situations where everybody can rise together and build together.
These are strong principles, what you are articulating, Charles. It's amazing.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, people, they tend to be in the Western world very brittle. You know, they said if you violated any of these principles once in your life, you're now compromised and therefore forever evil and wrong. So you have to have not only a collection of values, you also have to have an understanding that you're going to. It's like Batman return, the Dark Knight Returns, where he's trying to climb up the tunnel and he fails dozens of times, and eventually he figures out how to get up and he gets out of the prison. Well, the values are the same way. There's so many cases in life where you don't live up to the things you put on paper. We all have this problem. We all have bad days. We all have facts and circumstances that are a problem. But that doesn't mean that these things are useless, any more so than a diet is useless just because you don't lose as much weight as you thought you were to that week. The second side of it is meaning, which is a very personal thing of, well, what is the definition of a good life? And no one gets to decide that for you. Your parents don't, and others don't. And some of the most unhappy people I've ever met is when their destiny has been decided by others. You know, for example, I come from a family of doctors, and I had to make a decision. Do I become a physician, or do I go my own route? And I went my own route and did things very differently than my dad and brother. But had I gone down the medicine route, I probably would have been a pretty good doctor, but I would have been probably fundamentally unhappy as a person. So I'd have all these prestige and have these patients and so forth, but it wasn't the path for me. It wasn't the choice for me. I look at the world differently. So you have to find meaning in life, purpose in life. And then you have to pair the guiding principles of that meaning, of how you get there, via your values. Because the values are how you navigate the roads and what decisions you make as you travel towards the direction of your life.